Like, every time I feel like I crawl my way out, it's like I get sick. Like, it's just so frustrating. I'm home sick with a stomach bug. My cat also had a stomach bug. Who knows who got it first, but yeah, it just has not been a great 24 hours here in our household. The timing of the stomach bug, it's like I haven't, it's been deep in the winter in 2025, right? It's been freezing here in New York, and I haven't had that much to do. But of course, today I had a lot planned, which is so annoying. And I couldn't do any of it because the stomach bug is a stomach bug. You can't leave your house. It was a rough weekend. It's just absolutely insane. But I feel like this is time for me to kick it into gear. It's like I can't have playtime and not get my work done. Like, you know what I mean? So one, I'm not treating my body well. I'm not sleeping well. But yeah, I'm trying to have all these plans. In an ideal world, I would have loved to gotten a good night's sleep. I'd have loved to dance today, and then I had an event that I was going to go to today. And so yeah, those are going to be my plans. Dancing, an event, getting schoolwork done. That was going to be the extent of my stuff. I'm trying to play, I'm really sad about today, but I'm trying to play it off as in like, this is the best case scenario. It's forcing me to slow down, think, realize what's most important, which is getting substantial work done, to be quite honest. And maybe think about maybe I'm playing around too much. But yeah, I would have loved to been out and about today. I really would have, but I think I have to do a real evaluation. I have to do a real evaluation on where my priorities lie, how I want to move throughout the world, because it seems like when I have a lot of plans, I don't take care of myself. And that's another thing I've been realizing, and definitely a contributor to the stomach bug our household has gotten. So it's going to be the time for me to learn how to maintain my health and maintain a busy life. Oof. Sorry about all the text messages. The 2 text messages from, again, people being like, I'm so sorry you got a stomach bug, and your cat got a stomach bug. My one goal was to gain weight. I was so underweight, and I've done that. Another one was to try to keep promises to myself. Obviously I fell off with YouTube, but I had been keeping up with dancing and figuring out putting boundaries on things. If with skating, there are some things that I didn't like with that, people wise. So I was just okay, let me put my boundaries up, figure out who I want to spend my energy around, and I feel like I've been making good decisions in terms of that. But I still have a lot of work to do. I have a lot of work to do, and a lot of it is around taking care of myself, which is so annoying. Does anyone else have that problem? So taking care of myself, turns out it's harder than you think. I do things, I take really good care of my hygiene. I take really good care of other stuff, but I feel the big things that I let down, I wash my clothes, I do all that stuff, but for me the biggest things I don't do is it's hard to eat right. It's hard for me right now to eat enough food, to eat the right foods. I feel all of that is really detrimental to my body. I've been working on like figuring out if I can have like a low histamine diet, just because I'm dealing with a lot of inflammation. That's very difficult, especially when you have like other restrictions. So yeah, I'm figuring that out, and just how to get enough calories without having too much sugar. And then and also with that is like sleep. Maybe it doesn't seem like that much, but it is. Sleep, and then time management. Oh, my allergies. Sleep and time management, because time management leads to stress if I'm rushing everywhere. So yeah, it was annoying to miss everything that I wanted to do today, but it's also this is a wake-up call that I am not together. Like, seriously, I have a lot to work out. I have a lot to work out. And the thing is, I know I can. I'm just screwing myself over. And I'm, of course, like, angry at the stomach bug, because I don't want this to screw me over even more. It's like, I'm just trying to, like, every time I feel like I claw my way out, it's like I get sick. Like, it's just so frustrating. But yeah, could be worse. I'm just happy to be like relatively healthy, especially like healthier than I was a few months ago. But I'm angry. I'm angry that I was sick today. I'm angry that I was sick, but I'm glad I didn't go out and get anybody else sick. Yeah, it sucks. Let's see what else we have to talk about. Okay, so what's going on with life? We have, besides me needing to take care of my health and do all these other things, which I might put in later, I do have a lot of great things happening. Obviously, we have school, and then we have ballet, we have figure skating, and I'm also just reading more, and still practicing French. So in terms of reaching my goals for 2025, I feel obviously not like, I don't feel like I'm being super strict, and it's like not exactly where I want to be, but I feel like I'm trying to keep up the best that I can. Things that have fallen off or have not started, I'll tell you those things and the reasons why. So piano I haven't started. I have a piano, just haven't picked it up. I've been dealing with a lot of like thought loops and thought blockages, and I keep thinking about doing the piano, but then I'm like, oh, I'm gonna pick it up and not know what to do, and then I just don't pick it up. So my goal is to really check in maybe by the end of this week and see if I picked up the piano. Another thing that has been hard is studying French. It's just been really hard doing the workbook, and I've been really frustrated with myself with not remembering vocabulary, figuring out how to remember vocabulary. I'm pretty sure I downloaded the app that goes with the book, but I think I need to really look at that and maybe do the app, and maybe that'll help me with my French, because the workbook I just really picked it up again, and it's going really, really slow. Another thing, ballet is moving steady. I had a very traumatic intermediate class last week that kind of knocked me off my confidence, which is like a good thing, but ballet has been humbling the entire time, but that was like so humbling. Like I almost got kicked out of class. Like it was so bad. And it didn't help that it was a day that was really stressful at school that unfortunately I can't say that much about, but I got in trouble at school, and there's a lot of drama happening at my school right now. I go to Columbia, and there's a lot of things happening. So that school has been a stressful layer on top of it, and so yeah, I got, disciplined, and then on that same day I decided to go to ballet to make myself feel better, and then I had a horrible time. Not horrible time, but I was really struggling. I literally almost got kicked out of class. Like nothing I was doing was correct. I seemed like I probably had no brain, like have never set foot in a ballet class before. It was pretty bad, and then I ended up getting yelled at as well for something. Like there's a professional dancer who, we were going across the floor, and then there was a professional dancer behind me, and I was so disoriented the entire class. Everything was moving so fast. We were like going around, and I went, and the professional dancer also was going behind me, and he leaped in front of me. And my other class, it has been fine for like boys and girls to go, for company dancers and non-company dancers, as long as it's not too crazy to go together. But yeah, I got yelled at for going across the floor with a boy and going across the floor with a company dancer. And then my teacher, I completely get it. But yeah, my teacher was like, oh, he could have kicked you. Mind you, the studio is like huge, and if he were to kick, again, it's their own rules, but the way I was like disciplined there, it was like pretty like traumatic, which is like whatever. But I still think the argument, like, he could have kicked me, it's like if he would have kicked me, he would have to be like actively trying to kick me. We were so far apart, and I know he was moving fast, but like, I don't know. Even when I'm going, let's say I'm going across the floor and there's someone who happens to be more beginner in front of me, I'm not going to, unfortunately, like I don't know, I'm not going to go full out and like kick them because they're in my way. I don't know. Same with like figure skating. If we're figure skating, we have like freestyle sessions. There can be a multitude of levels in there, but I'm not going to run into them. You know what I mean? If they really are in the way, I might be like, oh, hey, you're like in the way. But I don't know. I'm just gonna stop. Like, it's not that serious. Like, or it's not like a competition. So yeah, I got traumatized there. There's something like super weird going on with the my like under TV thing, but yeah, I got traumatized at ballet. Yeah, it's been rough. And I've been having these weird like inflammatory episodes as well that I've been dealing with. It's been really hard. Like, it's kind of like I would randomly get an allergic reaction. I would say in the past year or so, I've been very, it seems like almost every other thing gives me an allergic reaction, which is pretty scary. Things that I never used to be allergic to, I'm all of a sudden allergic to, and that's been like so difficult to deal with. So I've been having bouts of that where like my mouth would be super inflamed. I actually had to go to the health center one time because I felt like my whole mouth kind of swelling, and it sucks. Like, it absolutely sucks. So just dealing with the health issues, as well as like feeling like I'm falling behind, or I'm just like not in the right spot in terms of like ballet, like French, like all these things. But I'm confident that I'll get there. Something with French that it's also really difficult is like there's also like French Mondays here in New York, and I went to them actually before I started doing the workshop, and it was very difficult. I think I'll understand more now, and I definitely need to go, but it's just it's hard, it's awkward, it's hard, and I feel like it's already an awkward environment to go to a bar with random strangers, but it's even more awkward when you can barely speak the language that you're supposed to speak in. So I am trying to work up to be able to go to French Mondays and have a fun conversation, make some friends. And I'm also working up to be able to go to intermediate ballet classes and not get my bleep whooped, like, you know what I mean? And then I'm also working up to just be able to play the piano. I live in a whole house, and my landlord has a piano upstairs, so I would love to be able to play well enough to like, play on her piano. And what else do I want to do? I'm trying to think of like goals that I can like thresholds to meet. For figure skating, I am hoping, I have like a friend who's coming to my school next semester, so I'm hoping that she joins, and that'll really help me with skating. Because one thing that I will do, one thing that I'm not doing is I'm not staying in spaces that I don't like. Because a huge problem that I have is that when I feel like I'm unwanted in a space, or like someone thinks I'm not good enough for a space, I do whatever I can to try to prove that I deserve to be in that space or something like that, and I'm done doing that. I realize there are people who just don't like you for whatever reason, and there is no changing that. There is no proving to them that you're capable of doing something, that you're nice, that you're smart, that you're whatever. So I will not be spending time in places that I'm not wanted. Does not mean I am completely giving up on the activity or what I'm doing, but I'm at my threshold. I don't stay in places where I don't feel wanted, and I know now from so much experience like what it means to feel wanted in a space. So obviously I'm not going back to that ballet class that I was traumatized in for a multitude of reasons. I don't want to traumatize that teacher. I think we were both like mutually like not having a good time. And then there are some other things that I'm also trying to create distance from, and trying to see the best place that I belong. Thankfully, I have other ballet classes that I go to that I'm perfectly fine in, so that's great. So I'm going to focus on that, and focus on everything that I can control in the spaces that I am wanted, and what I can do, what I can't do, and just I'm trying to improve on myself. A huge thing that is, the core of a lot of this is actually going to be focus. I'm also rubbing my arm. I got another tattoo removal session, which I will talk about in a second. But I just say, like, a huge aspect of still, like, the whole concept of my YouTube channel is to reach my goals, to set intentions, to, meet my best self. I actually just remembered I have a video on my phone that I recorded in December that I don't think I posted, but I just might post it up, where I talked about starting the artist way. And now it's coming back up because Dochi talked about how she started it, and that's what came to her creative journey. So I might post that. I don't remember what I said in it, but I was like, oh, I'm 2025. It's like, I'm doing all this stuff. So let's see if I can post that. It'll look probably really horrible, but hey, I'll post it up as proof that I was also on the journey. But the core of everything is my attention, my focus, and discipline. And those are probably the weakest aspects. Like, I have all of these things, I have all of these interests, I have everything like in my reach, but I'm holding myself back. And that's what I'm realizing. And I don't want to keep doing that. I don't want to keep holding myself back. I am just utterly determined to feel like I have control over my life, because I do. I think some things have rocked the boat with me, like my health rocks the boat, but I just want to emphasize to myself that, and to other people, like, we have control over our lives and how we live it. So I want to start acting that way. Yeah. And I'm just gonna try to keep reading. So I was trying to read some like Sally Rooney books, but then when I checked on like my NYPL, my New York Public Library app, to try to check it out, I'm like the 1,000th person in line to get any book. So I'm not sure when I'll be able to check out that book, but I was able to read some other books. Here's one that I just checked out. It's called In 5 Years by Rebecca Serrell. So I'm gonna read this next. One that I just finished. I just finished Pure Color. Oh my god, just dropping everything. I just finished Pure Color. Here's just the thing, but it was amazing, by Sheila Petty. Absolutely amazing. Yeah, it was absolutely amazing. That's all I have to say. So I've been reading some good books, and then of course I read Who Have Never Known Men as well. So I've read 2 books fully so far. I'm in the middle of reading another book that I've already kind of read. I think I'm just going to keep that as a subway book for now, and we'll see if I switch to that other In 5 Years book. So we'll just see how I feel, but just gonna keep moving on with reading, gonna keep moving on with all the other stuff. But it's just like, yeah, it's hard to feel like you have control over your life, I don't know how, it's just hard. It's really hard. And it's me having discipline, I have discipline in the sense where I feel like I always like move, like I'm continuously moving, I'm continuously growing, and then I have bouts of extreme discipline, but I feel like I don't have like a really good steady state. I feel like it's still very much a roller coaster, and that's, oh my god, and that's what I'm going to work on. That's what I'm going to work on in this journey, and I'm going to be all the better for it. I'm excited. I was really, these past few weeks have been hard in the sense where, I just been feeling like I've fallen off of work. I'm moving at a snail's pace. But I'm going to try to give myself some grace and then try to get back on track. And filming this also makes me feel like I'm getting back on track a little bit. And maybe I can watch this back and realize in a few months all the things that I have done and how far I've gotten and how much I can speak French, for example, and just how I'm getting through school. I think those are my biggest goals. Like, I have these little goals, of course, to speak French, to dance, etc. But I still, you know, a huge goal of mine is to get my degree and to figure out how I want to live as a career woman. And doesn't mean like what exactly I want to do as my career, but I just kind of like how do I want to live each day. I think that's what it comes down to, because I don't know per se exactly what career I will have. Like right now, my career has been as a scientist, and I don't know what the future holds. And I know like either way, like day to day is probably going to seem boring no matter what I do. But I just want to be able to have a life where I could live the healthiest possible life for me and like the happiest possible life for me. Those are my biggest goals. Yeah, it's hard talking. It's I would say it's hard talking on YouTube, because it's like, oh, you're not talking to a specific person, you're kind of talking to yourself. So it's very rambly, it feels all over the place sometimes. Maybe I need to really stick on theme, really stick on topic, but it's been a long time since I've made a video. So I have a lot to share, but also not a lot. So I'm actually gonna look, I have like stuff that I'm putting in a video. I'm not putting like everything, like it's crazy because I take so many videos, but then most of it I don't even make into a YouTube video, or I can't figure out a way to like put it into a video. So it ends up being like a day or like 2 days worth of small footage. But right now I'm taking you through a day where I had like therapy, and then I had like dance that day. And then I had like a dentist appointment and just like running errands in the city. So it's going to be a very city heavy video. I feel like a very New York video. Like I had like a bagel, like an egg, cheese and tomato bagel. I had my ballet outfit. I go to ballet in Midtown. I go to 2 studios, and I'm going to try to go to another one. I'll keep you updated on the studios that I do, maybe in the next, like another video. And then I had a really good ballet class. So I was like skipping down the stairs. Like this was not obviously that Monday. It was a completely different day. I had a great class, and I was like, oh, I did so well. Like it was like an open class, so it was just great. An open ballet class, if you know what that means, like there's beginner, there's intermediate, and then there's open to all different levels, and there are a lot of company dancers in there, and I just felt like I did really well. And also my teacher did compliment me afterwards, and I did a lot of journaling that day, and it was just like this was a really good time that I'm showing. It just was a really good time. And it wasn't, again, not the most disciplined time. I do things that I like journaling, ballet, like eating a nice bagel in the sun, and going to therapy, etc. But I like days like those, but I really want to mix those into more like high energy days, so that I feel more accomplished at the end of the week. So that's my goal. So you're gonna see a day that I feel that I did accomplish some things. I accomplished dance class and journaling, and like errands, but we want to see more high energy days mixed in, as well as like really good rest days where I'm not like on my phone all day or on my couch all day. That's the goal. That is the goal. I'll probably end this here, and I'm going to see if I can find that old video of me talking about the artist's way back in 2024 and go from there. I hope the rest of my week goes better than today. Still very upset about today, but I'm gonna try to make the week a lot better. Yeah, we're gonna try to get it done. This is motivating me to get my work done, obviously, because I made this video for the first time in a long time. Let's break.